I just found out that Bonnie Tyler died last night. So it's on my record player, which needs cleaning. I'm sorry. I haven't listened to this in a while, but I do love her. Also, somebody that is literally on the Jeopardy screen, this always happens, like at weird moments. Somebody on the Jeopardy, and I can't remember his name for the life of me, but he went to our high school. He went to my high school. And one time, I remember my mom and my stepdad were like yelling at my ex-boyfriend and I about money, and Jeopardy was on, and all of a sudden, like, the person who like won in the background was this mutual friend that was always trying to have threesomes with like my ex and I. He like literally my mom and my stepdad are yelling at us about money, and this guy that like my ex and I almost had a threesome with is just like literally on the screen like winning so much money, and we're just like, I mean, I don't know if I would describe it as almost had a threesome with him. I don't know if that was really on the table. I think I would have been down, but hello, welcome to it being 6 a.m. I'm hoping that I'll be able to fall back asleep. I did have some wild dreams. That's not really why I can't fall back asleep. But, yeah. I just wanted to talk about one of my favorite vocal stems. And it's from the song Holy by Justin Bieber. And it's Chance, the rapper? That part? Oh. I play that in my head sometimes. It always makes me laugh. So, there's that tidbit. The commencement of the action of falling back asleep did not take place. So, that's okay though. We're up, we're at 'em, we're up and we're at 'em. We're up and we're at 'em. The electrons would be happy. Get it? Cause like, okay. Yeah. I'm thinking it would be funny if I just like spent the whole day in the shower. And just like, cause I have songs where it's like, I sing this song so much. Like, I play things on repeat, like, and it's more about, like, I don't know, I find the idea of, like, posting covers and posting somebody singing, like, cool and stuff like that. But always, like, when there's two voices or, like, I don't know, I really just love the act of singing with another. I really love it. Like, one of my favorite things in the entire world is to be in the car driving with my hand out the window and, like, letting my hand to dance against, like, the rushing wind or the rushing breeze. And I don't know, the faster the car is going, the more exciting for me. Especially, like, driving in the canyons when there's all these turns. And especially when you're in, like, a car that kind of has, like, a low center of gravity. So then you can, like, really feel, like, the G-force. And then you're singing. And you're singing with another. And there's this, like, crazy, like, G-force happening inside of you. It's, like, a very... it's a scintillating feeling is what I will say. If I can use that word. If you'll allow me. Yeah. And then my other favorite, like, you can kind of get that feeling, too, when you're, like, in the shower and you're singing in the shower. Because still, like, the idea of having your hand out the window or feeling that, like, force of gravity moving, you're still feeling that sensation when you're in a shower. It's just coming down from above. It's like being in a waterfall. Like, oh, my gosh. When I was in Hawaii and I, like, cliff jumped from a waterfall into this, like, pit in Maui, this little, like, hidden thing behind this, like, Buddhist church or Tibetan Buddhist church that we were at. I don't know. It was, like, yeah. It just, like, just that feeling of having all of that water, like, rushing down on you, but also plunging. Like, I really, really enjoy that, like, sensation, that feeling. Like, I'm even thinking about the time that I was in, like, I was hiking the Narrows, and, like, it was during a time where, like, in Zion, like, in the national park, like, the Narrows are something that when there's water rushing, like, they can be slippery. So if you go off kind of during different seasons, if you go off into weird little, like, areas, you might accidentally, like, end up being in a situation where you're in a really tight spot and there's just water rushing at you. And so like, that's kind of how people die there. So me, of course, I just, like, without a helmet, without anything, I just decide to, like, go off on one of these little things. And of course there's water and I slip, and I'm literally for like a mile, like, I'm literally just being taken by the water, and I'm just like, okay, I just have to think about protecting my head. But oh my God, that sensation is like, it's divine. Like, yeah. Oh my goodness. There's just something about, like, yeah, rushing water, like, but also, like, the breeze, like, the winds when they're really, when you're riding in them, and you're like, it's like surfing. It is. I'm thinking about times where I've been surfing. It's like surfing, but, like, getting to do it with your voice. it's being a part of the literal flow state. It's not just being in a flow state, it's being a part of the things that are flowing in the state. Okay, so this morning what did I have for breakfast? The color yellow. And I mean that literally. The first thing I had was an entire tub of passion fruit ice cream sorbet. And that was really good. But it was a tiny tub, okay? Don't judge me. And then I also had mac and cheese, which was also yellow. Both things were like just only yellow. So, yeah. And now I'm having apple juice. I'm just like, I'm like just accidentally like feasting upon the color yellow. So, yeah. Do with that information what you will. Okay, so here's a fun little anecdote. Apparently, my stepdad's been losing his vision, all right? So, like, he's been not able to see. So he just went and got, like, some sort of surgery done on it yesterday. And he got his eyes zapped. And I just think it's funny, the idea of his eyes getting zapped. And now suddenly he can see. And, that's just really... It's good news for him. He can see now. Now today I'm mostly thinking about the word dream. And I just saw a white butterfly fly by. Oh, and Shawn Mendes. So that's also what I'm thinking about. But also I'm thinking about like the physics of color. And also like the specific frequency of pistachio green. Because I've been nonstop eating, like before I switched to eating yellow, I've been nonstop eating pistachio green. I've been eating pistachios like crazy. I've literally only been eating pistachio ice cream. Like, I was wearing a pistachio green tank top. So I was, like, studying, the color pistachio green. And now I see Mike Sabbath is also studying the color pistachio green, which I feel like whenever I'm, like, really meditating on a color, like, even when I was doing orange, somehow Mike Sabbath is also meditating on the same color. What does that mean? I don't know. But I enjoy it. Now... There's something I want to talk about that happened in, like, right around, like, literally the day before Halloween, okay? Or honestly, the day before Halloween. It's something that happened, okay? And then I'll circle back to pop culture, Shawn Mendes, and Mike Sabbath. But first I want to talk about what happened to me the day before Halloween, okay? I had a friend over, and she was in my garden house, and she had her headphones on, so she didn't hear this. And something happened where I was in the middle of the night. It was in the middle of the night, so we were up late, and... I tripped over a sprinkler, and I had all these, like, mugs and cups in my hand, which usually I'm good at balancing, but I didn't see the sprinkler because my stepdad had just installed sprinklers, so I wasn't aware that there were sprinklers even really in the backyard. And so I tripped over it, and I literally fucked up my ankle so bad, I was, like, sobbing. I was crying out for help, like, help! And nobody could hear me, and she couldn't hear me because she had her headphones on. And I literally was, like, I couldn't walk, so I was just laying there flat out on my back. So I was just laying there flat out on my back, like, and the stars were so beautiful. The moon was so beautiful. It was all just, like, basking on me. Everything was completely pitch black. Like, I literally was just, like, bathing in the starlight. And I was just speaking to the stars. Like, I was like, all right, like, somehow we're going to need to figure out a way for me to get up. Like, I can't get up. Like, I was in so much pain. And I just, like, imagined the stars just, like, bathing me and, like, specifically focusing on my ankle. And, like, something I remembered an Instagram post that I came across literally, and I can do this at will, like, that I don't remember exactly what the post was, but, like, I remember what I gained from the post, like, the key that I got from the post. And the code I got from the post. And it was literally a code. It was about CIA, like, codes that they, like, tested as a part of, like, some sort of psychic warfare with Russia or something like that. And so... the code was like, it was like 055, okay? And so you imagine that code so apparently if you imagine that code and you like send it to like, you imagine it like going into like those numbers going into like your skin where it is like your hurt. So I was imagining those numbers and the starlight going into my ankle, and because I was like, I gotta get an imaginative here. Nobody can hear me. I can't get up and walk. So I was like, okay. I was like pulling up all the different things. I'm like, okay, maybe the starlight can hear me. Maybe my like own the sound. So I'm also like singing like different weird like tones. Like I'm like doing like different like 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 echo. I don't know exactly how to explain it. While I'm looking at my ankle, imagining the numbers going inside it and the starlight, and like trying to feel the starlight on my skin. I don't know how successful I was at that, but like that's just like what I'm trying to do, because I'm like I was in so much pain, and honestly, the pain, like I just stopped being able to feel my ankle, and I just got up and I just for the next 2 weeks hobbled on it. I didn't speak about it really, like. But yeah, like on Halloween and like the first 2 weeks of like of November, something was going on with my ankle. I don't know what it is now, because I sometimes like, because my mom didn't take me to the doctor growing up. Like I remember one time, like I twisted both my ankles at different times in second grade, and my mom told me to just walk it off, so I did, and like they were swollen. Like teachers were like, In fact, one time in seventh grade, I fractured my foot, and my mom told me to walk it off, and like my PE teacher got involved, because like he was like, and it was like I'd been trying to walk it off for like 2 weeks, and I ended up having to get a cast on it and crutches and everything. That's how fucked up this foot was. And I actually didn't go to school for the second half of seventh grade because of this because my crutches ended up snapping. It was a whole thing. And then my cast dropped into the bathtub, and then there was fungus growing on my leg. Okay, so that was a thing. So because of that, like I normally sometimes when I get hurt, I just like, it doesn't even register to me as like a problem. I just like try and get creative with it. Which, like, you know, has its plus and minuses, as does everything. Okay, so now, yeah. And then eventually my I don't know, I eventually just stopped thinking about the pain completely, and like my foot's fine. Like I can still do gymnastics, I can still do a front handspring, I can still like do cartwheels, like I can still dance. No mobility has really been taken away from me. So it was like 2 weeks of pain. So I don't know, code 55 might be able to hold all your pain. Okay, no, sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. But also the starlight. It could have been the starlight. That's the problem. Sometimes when I'm trying out methods, I like kind of like just Jackson Pollock it. I try multiple things at once. I have been experiencing this one problem where I forget my ankles, and it's kind of been happening more since, honestly, then I can track it to that. But this has been a problem my whole life where I just forget my ankles. So as well, I don't know, I've been getting better about just like, oh my gosh, my ankles are asleep, I need to remember them. And then I like move my ankles around, and I usually remember like right when it's like getting like so painful that it's like, okay, wait a minute, I should probably do something. I don't know, my pain tolerance in my ankle area is just, it's on fucking par. Why does that make me red? I don't know, I'm like, is it really cool that my ankle pain tolerance is like, I don't know, why am I flustered about that? Okay, hi. It's me again. Now I'm thinking about, so I told that story about how like sound like protected me in a situation by like singing like a lullaby version of let the bodies hit, now you do what they told you, now you do what they told you, that song. By singing a lullaby version to that, I was able to like disengage like a violent man that like had me cornered up against a brick wall. So I'm thinking about that. And then I'm also thinking about how like, just like that, like, I don't know, I feel like I'm thinking about just like the interesting things, the interesting people and like dynamics that come across my path whenever I'm in public, which is making me think about how I spent the 4th of July, not this year, but the year before. And how I was out with this guy, and we were at the Santa Monica Pier, and like we were just chilling on the beach, and like, I don't know, we were having fun. We were watching. Okay, so, and I'm thinking about how like him and I, like this couple, like just came into our just like general awareness. I guess our like field at the time is what you could maybe say. And they were having the worst, like, they were like, the girl was so drunk, she wanted to lay in the middle of the sand and just like stare at the stars, and he was trying to get her home. It was this whole thing, and like they were fighting so much, and she was like trying to get him to hit her is what was going on. And she was trying to get him, like she was trying to instigate him to get violent, and she kept kind of like going at him a little bit, but then she'd like back off. She was trying to get him to do that, and I would literally, for some reason this guy and I got put in the middle of, somehow, we got put in the middle of their fight. So him and I were just, like, trying to, like, parent both of these, like, people. And, like, the other guy, he was, like, fairly sober. And so we were having, like, a really good conversation with him while she, I don't know. And me and this guy were just having a really beautiful conversation about, like, relational dynamics. Well, this girl was just, she was just laying in the sand. She wanted him to chase her, but it was like a drunk thing she was doing, because every time he would get her boyfriend would get closer to like, she would run away even further and then, like, go hide in the sand. So he had a lot of stuff. He had, like, all of their stuff. So we were just, like, watching it, and he'd, like, occasionally go and try and catch her, but she wasn't having it. But I was able to keep my eye on her the whole time, so I always knew where she was. So we figured eventually she would just come to us, which she did. And at that point, like, I was rolling her a cigarette. She was very unkind to me. Very, like, I don't know if I've ever had a stranger be more mean to me. But it didn't matter. I was still very kind to her. And, like, we just ended up, like, I don't know. That was, like, it was just a very interesting 4th of July. The conversations were all really good. But then the conversations that the guy and I were having, that I was with, the conversations that him and I were having about it afterwards were actually really, like, I don't know. It was I just felt like him and I were the emotionally mature people in the situation. But we were with, like adults. And I don't know. I feel like I feel like maybe a lot of, like, people of our generation that have, like, gained a lot of knowledge and, like, evolved themselves, like, through, like, technology and social media, through the internet, through having this much access to information. Like, if you're using information to, like, I don't know, like, there are people in this world, and specifically, like, in Gen Z, that are using information very deliberately in order to, like, I don't know, play a little bit of a game and, like, kind of gamify reality. And I think that, like, when you do that, you end up doing a lot of emotional work as well. And, like, and maybe it's harder to, like, look at it that way, but yeah. And so then you end up just in these crazy situations where you're with adults and you're just like, okay, we know what to do here. Like, and then you end up taking care of them on 4th of July. Okay, because I'm going on a vacation, or, like, I don't know if I would call maybe a vacation, because I'm burying my grandpa in Lake Tahoe on Monday, and I'm gonna be, like, traveling a lot. I know what I'm gonna be focusing on when I'm in Lake Tahoe. I'm going to be focusing on my great-grandpa and, like, learning about him and, like, kind of talking about my grandfather, the guy we're burying, story. And, like, I'm going to be really involved in rocket science. I know my brain is just going to be so rocket science. So I'm trying to take advantage of the today and tomorrow to be very, like, more musical. Well, tomorrow I feel like I'm going to have to, like, pack a lot. Like, I'm going to have to, like, figure out what I want to pack. And I'm going to do, like, some probably, like, maintenance, like, admin type shit. And so I'm thinking about, like, today, and I'm like, okay, today I'm going to do some more vocal experiments, because I'm not going to really have the time to do that, or the space really to do that in Tahoe. So that's what I'm thinking about. There's something very artistic about this composition. Here we've got a plastic bag with sunblock and a cup in it, but it, like, looks like it's like the Buddha's. And I can tell the story about this Buddha. This Buddha has a history to it. This is mine. It's all concrete. It weighs, like, literally, like, 200 pounds. And I got it in Utah when I had this condo. And it came with the condo. And, like, I don't know. This guy and I have some, the stories he could tell. Okay, so today I pretty much just focused on eating the color yellow pretty much all morning. And I'm wearing yellow pants. And I'm wearing, like, a yellow and gold shirt. And then this has, like, yellow on it, too. So I really just, like, was meditating on the color yellow. And, like, my very first stuffed animal is Dr. Bear, okay? I've had him since I was born, like, since I was 8 months old, and so I've been thinking about the color yellow. And then I slowly started eating orange things. Now I've eaten some orange things. So I'm, like, letting it bleed into that, and I'm thinking about the color orange again, which I was thinking a lot about a month ago. I was thinking about the color orange. And I don't know, it's made me have a lot of realization, surprisingly, about the color red. And I think it's, I see the silliness in thinking about colors this much, but also because of, like, what I mean when I'm thinking about colors and how, like, dedicated I am to it and how much years of research I have with colors and with painting, all my painting classes. I feel like, yeah, like, colors mean a lot to me, and I've been able to, like, really map them to so many different things. But I fell in love with colors truly just through, like, in college, my minor was in art. Like, I've taken painting classes. I've taken, you know, like, traditional painting classes. I've taken pottery classes. I like went to goddamn England and got like and did an apprenticeship in printmaking, like, which involves colors and inks and like working with colors on your hands. Like when I was in Utah, I like painted murals with colors, and so like, and a part of my synesthesia is I can like literally feel color on my skin. That's why like sometimes I'll change colors throughout the day, because it like I'll change outfits throughout the day because I like to have like my outside just like match my inside. I don't know. Looks relaxing. I would also like to note that I was terrible at pottery. I was so bad at it. In fact, yeah, I cheated. I cheated in that class big time. I see, the thing is I had a problem with the word clay. I'm gonna be honest. I had just been going through like one of my best friends in high school. His name was Clay, and in that class, I like didn't even show up to that class because him and I were. This was first semester of college, and like I had such I was so afraid of that word that like, and they just kept saying it, and like that wasn't. So I literally like I couldn't do it. No part of me could even handle it. So thank you. Shout out to who helped me cheat. Oh, and that's the only time I've really done that in a class where I've like, okay. Like him and I had like our friendship like totally blew up like freshman year, first semester. So I was like thinking about that a lot. And then like every time I would go to the class, all I would think was about this situation that I had, this highly complicated like multi-person situation I had going on like with him. And then by the end, like I went and visited him in Oregon at one time, and then when I came back, I literally stopped showing up to that class. Like I literally couldn't even, like, the idea of touching the clay, I was so scared. It was like my body, I remember that my body was having like a visceral reaction, and I just started drinking. And so I knew if I was going to go to the pottery class, I knew that if I showed up immediately after, I would be drunk. So that's like, I wasn't in therapy then. I didn't understand what was going on, okay? And so I would just, and yeah. So I remember coming back from October break, or from fall break, I think it was called, and I came back from Oregon, and I remember sitting in that class, and I remember like trying to make a bowl and just thinking like, I'm touching clay right now. And like, I literally like, I had no coping mechanisms. I was fresh out of, like, I was still Mormon, okay? I still believed in Mormonism, but I was, like, a bad Mormon now. And so, like, I literally had, like, I couldn't, like, rely on what I used to as a child, like, which was, like, praying and, like, asking for forgiveness and stuff like that, because I couldn't ask for forgiveness because I was drinking so much. So I was like, oh, my God, like, I don't know. It was like it, and I wasn't going to church because like I was uncomfortable with like the clergyman, the bishopric essentially at the church. Like one of them made me uncomfortable, so I just couldn't go to church, and so like I didn't know what to do about it, and like I was like having to experience emotions without church for the first time, and like of course I was drinking. Okay, these are some of the struggles of my life. So like I'm laying here and I'm like, you know, getting ready to fall asleep. I'm journaling. Well, I'm like writing my notes app, and I'm just like really like thinking about things, like just kind of like digesting the day. And this is the bane of my existence. I was like about to fall asleep, and then all of a sudden I had the best idea. And like now all I want to do is like literally create like a pantheon of like modern day gods, like based off of like the Roman Empire and like what was going on in Greece, and like compare the modern day like social media to the Roman Empire, and like map different like archetypes and like characters in modern day social media, like big players like Elon Musk, like Clavicular, Shawn Mendes, all these people, and like kind of like map them onto like different like a pantheon of god types, and like show how it's like an evolved version of the Roman Empire, what's happening now in the zeitgeist. Okay, side note, I'm like falling asleep again, and I don't know, I want to share this. Ruby has the cutest little nose whistle going on. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's literally like she's sleeping. In my bookcase, there's like in my bookcase behind my desk, there's like underneath it, there's this like, so there's this velvet, you know, this turquoise velvet kind of like drape tablecloth over, it's a curtain, but it's over my desk, which has like my piano, my VHS tapes and everything, and there's a bookcase that holds all my VHS tapes and a 3D printer. And Ruby has a little bed underneath it in this like little cubby because she's like me. She likes to be in like enclosed spaces. I don't know how to explain it. Yeah. And she's just her little nose whistle. Okay, well now she's moving. She's awake now. I disturbed her by speaking. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I just wish she could understand me. This is kind of fun emerging news. Is that emerging news instead of like that did something that tickled my brain. But I just got out of the shower and I was looking at the TV, and instead of like politics or like anything scary, all that was on the television was a jellyfish. And like a very just like nice woman talking about how much she loved this jellyfish and how they were creating conditions for the jellyfish's like ultimate like happiness at this aquarium. And if you know anything about my aquarium revolution, like that meant a lot to me for that to be like the first thing that I listened to this morning, because I'm awake and I don't want to be. And often there is the news and like things about like people getting shot and dying and just like all this crazy shit. But right now, I just walked out of the bathroom, and jellyfish. And I got to see these little jellyfish, and they were doing these things, and that was really nice. Okay, so a couple things just happened this morning. I was, like, kind of, like, doing my hair, but while I was doing my hair, and I was putting oils in my hair, this book started screaming at me, visually. Like, I couldn't stop. I just knew I needed to look at it. So, I don't know. I don't know anything about this book. It's The Screw Tape Letters by C.S. Lewis, but I'm just going to hold it today a lot. I'm not even going to read, like, I'll probably read it at some point. Now that I've said that I'm not going to do something, like, God, I probably do it. Just to keep things interesting. Okay, yeah. So I'm just, like, holding this book, like, just, like, walking in my circles. And I say to my stepdad, because he gets home from walking the dog, and he was just, like, silent. And so I break the silence by going, I do decree that there is fun in the weather, and he liked it, and I walked away. I just said that, and I walked away, and I was laughing. He repeated it as I was like walking away, like echoed it, and he liked it. He was giggling. As I tell you this little freaking chicken, this freaking star, comes and joins me, sniffing around like I've got something interesting, but really I've just got a book, and I'm like, Ruby, you want to eat this book with me? I'm listening to this song by d0n, and the lyric is literally, it's getting perky, baby, what we finna do. Just like saying, like, it's getting perky, baby, what we finna do. It's getting perky, baby, what we finna do. It's getting perky, baby, what we finna do. Ooh, something I want to add to that 4th of July story I was telling yesterday is that, like, that's when I invented this concept, which, like, clavicular wasn't a thing then. So, like, the whole idea of, like, mogging wasn't, like, popularized in, like, modern day culture. But once it did, I knew what it was called. But that's when I started developing an idea, that 4th of July, about this concept I call the mognarchy. Mognarchy. So, I've got lots of PowerPoints on that one, too. Yeah, that was that July. I really spent a long time coming up with something that, like, it's literally, like, the word mognarchy, like, literally describes it perfectly. Now I'm realizing that, oh God, the connections that I just made in my head, like, you can just, I don't know if you could see them literally just, like, hit me all at once, because I know what I'm about to say is going to be a doozy. So the d0n lyric, it's getting perky, baby, what we finna do. He's talking about Percocets. See, that wouldn't have, I don't even really know what a Percocet is, if I'm gonna be honest. I know nothing about it. I don't even, so there's that. So I feel like that's just something to do with that information, what you will. But, so that's probably what d0n is talking about. But, like, I'm thinking about, like, it's getting perky. Like, I'm thinking about, like, perky nipples. But then I'm also thinking about, like the idea of something getting perky. Like that means that, like, there's a static electricity in the air. Because, like, you know, there's a chill. There's a temperature change. There's a hot summer day with perky nipples. But anytime I think about fucking Percocets, all I think about is pedophiles. Because I know the only pedophile I know, that confirmed, he died by, well, I don't know him. Well, okay, the only pedophile I know I've made eye contact with in my life, he was guilty, and then in law, in the court area, and then he took a bunch of Percocets so he wouldn't get gang raped. So whenever I think about Percocets, I also think about them being as like the delivery mechanism for killing pedophiles. So there's that. I don't know. That's just like, that's my brain. So when my subconscious hears it's getting perky, baby, what we finna do, what it really, it interprets it through all of these different things that I just said, because that's what your subconscious does. It links it to all of these like underlying things that you've experienced that have like programmed your perception of this word or whatever. And so what your subconscious does is it takes all of those and then you interpret the lyrics. So the reason why it's getting perky, baby, what we finna do is making me like, I'm like, not the reason why, I don't know why necessarily, but the reason I'm yondering out of this, parsing out of this, is that like in my head I'm like, oh, it means like what we finna do, like oh, we get to just do whatever we do want to do now because like, you know, this big scary monster is dead or whatever. Like that's like what it makes me think. Like in my head I take it in an entirely different direction than maybe it was written for. And now I'm like, it's getting perky, baby, what we finna do? Way too many good ideas come to me at once. I get a little stressed out. And then I just kind of like take the guitar tabs and I just kind of like randomly put them on random things without thinking of it. I try and go as quick as possible to not think about it. And then I just kind of like turn my brain off and just like focus really on like the dance of my fingers, not even really judging the sounds that come out. I just kind of try and let them like match the pace of the thoughts in my head. But it's not gonna, yeah, so I'm gonna turn my brain off now. I was thinking a joke about gangs and it doesn't matter. Sometimes that's a phrase I use a lot. I mean, not that you know what I'm talking about, but the phrase like I'm gonna turn my brain off. And I always say it like, okay, I'm gonna turn my brain off now. Like I always say in that intonation. And I think that like what's very interesting about that is that I'm always lying when I say that. I'm never turning my brain off in that moment. It's always a lie. It's just what I'm turning off is my vocalization of what's going on in my brain in order to have that be vocalized through, like in the last story, like the last frame. It was of me playing the guitar. And so I'm turning off my vocalization to be done through like my voice, and I'm allowing it to take occurrence in a different medium of sound other than my vocal cords. And why do I do that? I don't know. I'm going to be thinking about it a lot today. Because all of a sudden, like right when I said that, I realized something about silence that Ruby and I have literally never ever been able to understand until right now, until this very moment. I love how she smells. Okay, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to disturb you. I just love what you smell like. Anybody even conceptualize how much I love this dog? You know what she's been doing? She's been chewing apart this freaking unicorn leg. Like, she's got all of these dismembered unicorn legs just scattered throughout the house. And she keeps pulling out a new leg. Like, who knows where the fourth leg is right now? And, like, I love her. Yes, you're my best friend. She got a haircut yesterday and a bath, and they cleaned her ears, and they cleaned her teeth, and they cleaned your teeth and your ears, and now your ears are all clean. Yes, that is true. Those are truths. Those are truths. Those are truths. Okay, this is just kind of crazy. What I'm about to say is just crazy. But I used to like... Wait, I don't even know what I was about to say. I was just about to drop into a completely different I'm trying to talk about 7-Eleven. I'm trying to talk about the date, okay? This is what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about the date. And how it's 7-Eleven, and how literally, like, on my reposts, if you see, like, my... I'm more, like, formalizing my annotation. I'm beefing up my annotation system, essentially. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to explain all that. But essentially, if you go to my reposts and you look at the way that I treat my reposts, I've been thinking a lot about 7-Eleven today. And I didn't even know that the date was 7-Eleven. The reason why I was thinking about it is because, like, one time, almost a year, it was like a couple days ago, it was my year anniversary of getting in a car accident where I lost my car in front of this fucking 7-Eleven. So that's why I was thinking about 7-Eleven. Somehow this image right here perfectly explains the fact, the phrase of what, if I were to say girl bossing too close to the sun, this is what I mean. Like, look at my fingers literally burned. And guess what? I didn't even feel it. I didn't even realize. And now I just, like, think it's cool. Like, it doesn't hurt me. Yeah, so then now it's making me question, like, what really is girl bossing too close to the sun when it comes to me? And, like, my specific skill sets? I don't know. I like it. I like the mark. Whenever